Ladies and gentlemen, Patrik "No C Walker here of DallasCowboys.com with the newest outside linebackers coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Chidera Uzo-Diribe. Spent the last couple seasons or so under Kirby Smart's tutelage at the University of Georgia. First and foremost, welcome to the Cowboys. And how did it feel when you got that call letting you know that you were coming to Dallas?
Man, I appreciate it. Honestly, it was a surprise. Truly a blessing. But it was just one of those opportunities that, you can't say no to, So forever thankful to Coach Smart and his tutelage, but excited for the new opportunity in Dallas.
That's one hell of a tree to come from in Kirby Smart in Georgia. What's one of the biggest things you felt like you learned from Kirby that would help translate for you at the NFL level?
Yeah, I think just not being fearful to confront demand, the expectation from the players. Obviously Coach Smart confronts and demands from his coaches, and the coaches are required to do the same thing for their players. Being able to show that consistency with them, that's going to be one of the hugest and biggest things I think I take with me.
Christian Parker is a fast riser in the coaching ranks. What's your initial first impression of Christian Parker and the way he's built the staff around him?
Yeah, I think obviously a clear vision. He's clear in terms of his communication of what he wants and how he wants it done. So as an assistant coach, seeing that vision and seeing and getting the communication, it paints a clear picture in terms of how he wants it done, where he wants this thing to go, and it makes it easier for us as well.
As you guys start working here and boots on the ground here in Indy at the NFL Combine, the Cowboys are switching from a 4-3 to a primary 3-4 outside linebackers. What are you looking for? What are some of the main traits you're looking for from some of these prospects that could intrigue for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, always with that position, the two main jobs are obviously setting edges in the run game, right, being physical at the point of attack, and obviously getting after the quarterback. Those are going to be the two biggest things that we got to be able to check those boxes. There are going to be some different things and tasks that those guys are asked to do, but at the end of the day, those are going to be the top two things that we prioritize.
And how closely will you work with the inside linebackers coach and just as a whole getting that unit, or will you be specifically on outside linebackers and your edge rushers?
Yeah, specifically with the outside linebackers, but defensive football, everybody's got to coincide and work together, right? You talk about inside backers, defensive line, outside linebackers, right? The DBs coordinating the run game, right? We all got to do a great job of being on the same page, so there's going to be a lot of time spent with one another.
Ladies and gentlemen, your newest outside linebackers coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Chidera Uzo-Diribe. He's ready to get to work.
Back here in Indianapolis now with new Cowboys defensive line coach Marcus Dixon. Marcus, thanks so much for the time. This is not unfamiliar territory for you. Your third trip now with the Cowboys. You played for Dallas, you coached for them, and now you're back as the full-time defensive line coach. What's these last couple of weeks been like, and what's it like to be back with a star on your head?
I'm going to keep it real, man. It's a dream come true. This is a place that I've always considered home. Like you said, it was a start of my career as a player in 2008. Then I came back in 2015 and did the Bill Wash as the intern D-line coach, and then now I'm back to be the D-line coach. And it's a special place for me. I always had a special place in my heart. Love the Joneses, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. I'm just excited to be back, man.
And I'm sure you're also excited about some of the personnel that you've got on the defensive line, especially at defensive tackle, Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, Oso-Odighizuwa. Just early on, what are your impressions of that and the different things that you can do from a schematic standpoint when you have three big guys like that you can line up in the middle?
No doubt. I think with those guys is a test to them. Like they play hard, they play physical, they're athletic, they play the game the right way. And it's what I've been hearing and then following these guys just from afar. Like they are great human beings, great leaders as well. So with guys like that, you're able to kind of move them in different spots, create one-on-one matchups where they're going to win those. So, it's a win-win for us up front. I'm super excited to work with those guys. Can't wait to get them in the building. But we're very blessed and fortunate to have players like that up front.
One of the things that you did well in Denver and in Minnesota with Brian last year was you guys generate a lot of pressure. You bring the quarterback down. In his introductory press conference, Christian was saying that that's one of the most important parts of his defense. What do you plan to do? What's your coaching style to get your guys to get after the quarterback and, most importantly, get home on the quarterback?
Yep. So, it's again, creating those one-on-ones and then putting ownership on them to understand, like, hey, we're doing this for you to go win. And then his coaching style is like, play the game. Maybe not at their caliber, but I understand some of those situations of how we got to play the game up front, and it's all a mindset. And we have the guys for that, with Q, with KC, with Osa, to where you put them in position and understand we're still attacking. Now we're attack reacting. We're playing with our hands. We're not allowing vertical seams up front on those early downs, and then when it does, to get back on track, it's third down. Now let's go hunt. So you've earned that right now. You've owned that to where now you can go and do what you do best.
I know it's only been a couple of weeks, but what are your early impressions of Christian as the defensive coordinator here and the plan that you and the staff are putting together for this defense going into 2026?
Man, CP he's built for this. He's been ready for this. You can tell he's rolled into it, and being able to work with him those 2 years in Denver, you knew he was going to be a DC at some point, and then at some point he's going to be a head coach. It's just one of those guys that have an ick factor, and he has that ick factor. And the way he's put the staff together, along with Shadi, of course, and the defensive staff, the guys he's put together, like, we're all like-minded. Everybody wants to win. There are no egos. You know, there's a collaboration amongst us, and it's all about how can we help the players be the best version of themselves, and us as coaches, he is allowing us and coaching us to be the best version of ourselves as well.
Last one here for you. We're here at the Combine, so a chance for you to get in front of these players and watch some of these players go through different Combine drills and such. What's the kind of player that you're looking for, whether it be physically, mentally? What does a Marcus Dixon player ideally look like for you?
I want to see energy. You know, it can be mentally taxing on the guys, but you want to see guys that can go out there and perform, you know, and not be all uptight. It's a blessing to be able to do this thing, and that's what I always tell these guys that I do informals or formals with. Like, end of the day, it's a blessing to do this. It's still a kid's game. Just go out there and let it loose. You know, as far as technique stuff, that's what we do as coaches. We'll coach all that up. Go have fun and perform. So you like to see those guys do that.
Marcus Dixon, welcome home. Congratulations. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Our coverage on DallasCowboys.com of the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine rolls on. Kyle Youmans with you, now joined by linebackers coach Scott Symons, former defensive coordinator with the SMU Mustangs. And Scott, I know there's a lot of excitement around what you bring to this Dallas defense, and Christian Parker didn't waste any time getting you involved. What was that whole process like in the interview process and ultimately taking a job here with the Cowboys?
Yeah, I mean, Christian, you know, first off is incredibly intelligent. You know, from the very jump, I've known him since he was at A&M briefly, and just from the first phone call with Coach Shadi and Christian, it was very evident to me that these were the type of people that I wanted to work with and grow, learn from. And so just the energy, you know, just the bright football IQ, acumen, all things you want to be a part of. And so I'm really excited to work with him and be a part of the staff. And I think, you know, every single coach in the staff is, you know, just really, really good teachers, really good men. When we walk in the building, it's exciting to come, you know, in our D staff rooms every day and be around these guys from DA to Smitty to MD, you know, all the way across the board to Chid. And I think, you know, you got a lot of different experiences and guys that have been coaching the league a long time, and then guys like myself and Chid that have been doing it at the collegiate ranks. So it was very evident to me from the jump that, you know, CP was the guy that I wanted to have an opportunity to learn from, grow with, and work under.
I'm excited to talk more about kind of your background and your upbringing, because you talk about unique experiences. You have the unique experience of being a Dallas-Fort Worth product. Of course, you were raised in Hurst, Texas. You grew up under the shadow, I guess, of the Star and Valley Ranch and kind of growing up in that era. But what's it like now putting on the Star and getting to call the Cowboys organization home?
Yeah, it's you know, it's a surreal deal just to be in my hometown and be able to do what I love. And you know, growing up as a kid, to your point, you know, growing up here and seeing all the great Cowboys teams as a young kid growing up, and you know, so it's awesome to be a part of the organization, and really, you know, looking forward to helping build this culture and on defense, and like I said, to work under CP. So yeah, definitely a cool experience.
Let's talk about the X's and O's a little bit here. Of course, you were a defensive coordinator, but you have some safety and secondary background as well, kind of like Christian himself. But what do you anticipate from this linebacker group now that you are at the helm and trying to build on what you have in that room and add to it this offseason?
Yeah, number one, we're going to be physical. We're going to be physical. We're going to be, you know, a group that's not going to turn it down. You know, really excited to work with the men in that room. You know, talked to Demo. Already had a chance to meet with him in person a couple times. Just an unbelievable, contagious energy when he walks in the building. And I think that's the type of people that you want to have, and you want to have the opportunity to coach and work with. Same thing with Shamar. You know, pretty cool deal with Shamar. The guy that was his DC and position coach for 2 years at Florida was my GA back in the day. So a lot of similar people that I know that have coached him. So I'm excited to be able to get to work with him. And so the first thing that we're going to bring to the table is be, you know, a really physical group. Be dominant against the run. You know, get off blocks. just productive all the way around linebackers. And so as we continue to build that room out, just excited to see what that's going to look like in the end product. And we're going to play with unbelievable effort. That's one thing we're not going to compromise is how hard we play every single play. And so, those are two guys in particular. Obviously, we got Burns coming up, and he's a young developmental guy that I coached against in the ACC. We know some familiar people. Guys gone from safety trying to grow into linebacker. So, definitely excited to work with these guys and get rolling.
Yeah, Christian Parker mentioned it a couple times in his opening press conference about the scheme. And of course, there's going to be a lot put on the numbers, the 4-3 versus the 3-4 and the flip that you guys are going to make. But he did say a lot of multiple. How much does that change what you're doing from a developmental standpoint or just from a scheme standpoint going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, linebacker play is linebacker play. So whether you're in, odd front, whether you're in even front nickel personnel, the base fundamentals of playing linebacker, footwork, block destruction, run recognition, all of those things. Obviously, the coverage component of, the different coverages you're going to play, et cetera. But, linebacker's still linebacker. So from a fundamental standpoint and developmental standpoint, yes, there is going to be multiplicity within the scheme, and we're going to build a scheme around our players and what they do best, and continue to try to build a roster that fits what he wants to do with it. But I know we have some of the best D tackles in the league in front of us, an unbelievable D line that's been really fun to watch on film, and so we got to get those backers playing at that high level to help draw those double teams off the guys in front, so we can all make plays.
All best friends of a linebacker, good defensive tackle play up front, as you know very well. But once a defensive coordinator at the college level, what's been the biggest challenge for you taking a step to the NFL? No, we haven't played games yet or anything like that, but what is the biggest difference, I should say, whenever it comes to the two different levels?
Evaluations, but evaluations are no different, in my opinion, in a lot of ways than what you're doing from the high school level. I think in some ways it can be a little bit cleaner to see it when they get to this point, whether it's, free agency and guys that are late in their college years, juniors and seniors, versus, when you're watching film for high school kids, sometimes that film's a little grainier. You know what I mean? But you get to see, I think, throughout the course of a college career, a wide variety of skill sets on guys where sometimes the projection from high school to college might be a little bit tougher. So, that I think that's kind of streamlined pretty easy so far. Feel comfortable with that. And I think it's just like anything, getting to know the people in the organization, the people that you're working with, getting to spend time with the guys you're going to be coaching and help developing. So just really excited to be here, excited to jump into it, and excited to grow and continue to build this thing.
What was the interview process like with Christian Parker and Brian Schottenheimer as time went on?
Yeah, well, actually, I was in South Caicos Island on vacation with my wife.
Okay.
When I got the call, and so talked to Coach first, and then we Zoomed with CP and Shotty.
With the beach in the background? And
it was basically the beach in the background. So it was funny because CP said, I don't know why we couldn't have done this when you were 20 minutes down the road. And, I was on sketchy Wi-Fi at a Marriott resort. So, but it was awesome. Like I said, from the very first conversation for me, as far as just talking to Coach Shotty, talking to CP, it was just evident how high-level ball coaches they are, but the energy, the positivity, the detail in which they want to coach and teach and develop guys. And so, it was one of those opportunities where definitely was too good to pass up, and was, excited to have a chance to interview in person.
Well, we're excited to have you as a part of the Cowboys organization. I almost said back in Dallas because you've been through Dallas all the way through, but excited to have you on the second level of that defense, coaching the guys up, and really excited to see what Christian Parker brings with you in tow as well. Thanks for taking some time. Appreciate you as always. We'll catch up with you again down the line.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Cal.
More from the NFL Scouting Combine here in Indianapolis on DallasCowboys.com.